Christ is among us. I made a video for you recently about how to help your family fast during Lent, maybe when you need some modifications. But I think a lot of the posts that we see about the Great Fast really only talk about the food part, and we're supposed to be doing three: more fasting, but also more praying and more almsgiving. So today's video, I wanted to talk to you about getting those kids to church on weeknight services. During Lent, we have an opportunity for a lot more evening prayer services, but we also have feast days during the year where this same information will apply. So we all know doing something in the evening close to bedtime with little kids in tow is rough, no matter what it is, and it can be especially difficult to get them to church. So I think the first thing is to clarify your why. So for myself, if something's really hard, I need the why. I need the motivation and that clarity in my mind of why I'm doing this hard thing. So to avoid feeling like you've completely wasted your evening and stressed yourself out for no reason, make sure that you clarify in your mind what your priorities are. And for me, it's to convey my faith. If I want a grown-up Catholic child married in the church, making me some Catholic grandkid babies, I need to put in the effort now with a squirmy, silly, spinning in the narthex 2-year-old for evening prayers. If a feast day of the church feels like just every other day and we don't go to church or do something special, then why would our kids think that the feast day meant anything? I want our faith and our feast days to mean something to our children. And the same with Lent. If we say Lent is a time of additional prayer, but we don't actually show up for additional prayers, are they really going to get that message? Secondly, view it as a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. It is hard. And I am going to humbly show up on God's footsteps someday and be like, here, God, here's my meager offering where I really struggled and I did it anyways so that we could show up and be with you and that my kids would know you. And then lastly, it really builds community. I would just encourage you to come and bring a friend. So if your kiddos have friends at church, invite that family to come on the particular evening that you're coming. It makes it a lot easier for the kids to have something to look forward to when they at least get to see their friends praying with them and maybe even say hello after church. So some tips, some practical tips to actually get the why to happen. The first one I think that's really helped our family is to change the rest of our day. And what I mean by that is my husband takes vacation days for feast days and Holy Week in particular. During Lent, I don't think it's reasonable for anybody who's working to be able to take off every Wednesday and Friday, every time that we have prayers. So that's a little bit trickier. But definitely if you're a homeschool mom like myself, those days need to have a lower workload. So math and science will be a little bit less time and more time spent on learning our faith. If your kiddos attend a regular school, maybe you talk to their teacher ahead of time and perhaps make some accommodations for homework or an extension on a deadline. Make sure you do this ahead of time, not after the fact, and get those accommodations, get the rest of your schedule in order. At a bare minimum, feast days, holy days, and days where you're trying to make it for evening prayers are not days to schedule doctor's appointments, grocery store runs, or any other extra errands that can be put off for later. Make the day easier so that the evening will be a success. Another tip, eat early. So I know that some of our services require fasting before them, but children aren't held to that. So make sure that you're not taking hungry, tired children to church. We eat dinner at 4 o'clock when we have 6 o'clock services. It just makes the whole evening go more smoothly. And then we have full tummies and a lot better attitudes when we get to church. The next step is divide and conquer. And I mean this in a couple different ways. Number one, for example, at our parish, we offer services on Wednesdays and Fridays. So when I have little babies, we usually make it to one service a week. I'll choose either Wednesday or Friday, and my husband will go with the bigger kids to both services. It's just too much sometimes, and that's okay to admit, but we do make the effort to at least come to some. Also, divide the chores. Like I said, we eat dinner at 4 o'clock. My teenagers do the dishes while I get the little kids cleaned up and dressed. Mom doesn't have to do everything to get everybody out the door. However that division of responsibility is going to work in your home, make sure that you work it. Moms don't do it all. Also, drive separately. So if you have the best of intentions, we all know that sometimes our little kids just melt down. Sometimes things don't go as planned. And if you drive in 2 separate cars, you have the opportunity to escape with the kids that need to escape. And then the kids that can stay with your spouse at the parish. So if at all possible, go with your husband, drive separately, and have the opportunity to get out if you need to get out. Attending some of the service is way better than attending none. You've made that effort, you've taught them the rhythm, and next time maybe they'll make it 45 minutes instead of 30. The last thing is I just want to encourage you and let you know that I recognize how hard this is, and I'm cheering for you. That's part of why I have this account, so that we can come together and share our tips, share what's working, share what's not, and encourage each other in this work. It is worthy work. It is important that we convey our faith, and kids can't learn what they don't see and experience for themselves. So I'm cheering for you, and I hope that you're able to attend some more services through this Lenten experience and implement some of these strategies. I'd love to hear what else has worked for you and your family.